Storms are exploding across the plains as we move into the evening. We've seen multiple tornado warnings across parts of Oklahoma, and these storms are really getting strong too up across Kansas. We have multiple tornado watches out now for central and east Kansas into parts of Missouri. Also tornado watches down into Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, even into North Texas, and those expand all the way up into parts of Nebraska through the evening hours. Head to weather.gov to make sure you're aware of what warnings you're under. Yesterday, we saw the storms fire up. This is looking back into Sunday. As we move to the overnight, things calmed down some. We really have just primed things here. And, we were talking about that in the video earlier today, and boom, there goes the storms right along your dry line axis. You also got a lot of wind shear here, too, really causing these storms to get strong and also supporting multiple supercells. So the severe risk really hasn't changed. It's starting to shift off to the east as we head through the evening hours. Tornado risk pretty high here too, with this hatched area extending all the way into Missouri, and these storms will likely continue through the evening hours. We are going to lose some of the instability. It's not going to be off the charts like what we're seeing today or what we've seen. Now that we're seeing some rain, this is kind of going away. But heading into tomorrow, more instability across parts of Mississippi, even into Tennessee and Arkansas. So with the storms moving into this environment, we're looking at more severe weather on the way. Let's track some of the storms out in time through the evening hours. The time above me is Eastern time, so take an hour off for Central. Big storms going here into the southern plains. Let's zoom in just a little bit closer here into the south central U.S. First, looking into parts of Oklahoma, also into Texas. This cluster of storms likely will still be ongoing as we approach the 8, 9 o'clock hour. Backing things up kind of where we are now. Quite a bit of storms across parts of Missouri through the next hour or two. Some of these could be really strong too, with some tornadoes, damaging winds, some really big hail possible. If you live east of this, get ready. These storms are headed your way through the overnight. Now, once we get toward the 10 o'clock hour central, storms moving into western Arkansas, also central Missouri, and then things do calm down some. Although I'm going to tell you, I don't know that I turn my back on any of this heading into the overnight, because all storm mode's still possible through the evening hours into the late night. So tornadoes still possible further to the east, although that risk does go down some. And then as we head into tomorrow, things do shift off to the east a little bit. Here's a closer look into Missouri through the next couple of hours. Again, this area here, I think you watch it for tornadoes, also damaging winds, and some really big hail with these storms as they pop up. But now we're clustering things up. Damaging wind gusts certainly possible with an embedded tornado. And then as we head through the overnight, this moves into Illinois, also Indiana, with this highest severe risk a little bit further to the south. If you go back and look at the day one convective outlook, clearly as this propagates off to the east tonight, the threat does go down some, but still a slight risk. It's not a zero threat across parts of Indiana, also into parts of Illinois. That tornado risk also clearly to the west across Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, also Oklahoma. All right, let's continue this out in time. These storms will start to pulse up again on Tuesday. Now, some of these may hold their strength through the morning hours. I'm going to back this up just a little bit. But heading into the afternoon, that's when things start to get strong again here across eastern parts of Arkansas, southern Indiana, western Kentucky. These storms here could pulse up with the potential for some tornadoes as well. Let's go over to the updated day 2 outlook. We're now looking at a 3 out of 5. It's an enhanced outlook here from Kentucky, really central Kentucky. You can almost split the state in half. That goes all the way south into North Mississippi, North Alabama. All hazards, again, possible. Damaging winds, hail, and some of that hail could be on the big side too, especially in some of the stronger storms, and tornadoes. There's a risk here too. The hashed area, pretty much the same areas that were highlighted with that enhanced area of storms from central Kentucky all the way down to North Mississippi and Alabama. So this is a significant risk area. Anytime you see these hatched lines, that tells you, pay attention. Day 3, the risk certainly going down, but still some strong storms possible on the East Coast as we approach now Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. Widening this out just a little bit more, again, the storms as we head into Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening, I'm going to back things up as we take a wider look at the weather on Tuesday. All this up here into the Great Lakes, not severe. We're talking about just some rain. It could be heavy at times. However, some of these storms, I think you watch them here into parts of Illinois. You've got low pressure wrapping up here. A lot of wind shear with these, so keep an eye to the sky. But your strongest dynamics will be just to the south of this across West Tennessee, also into parts of northern Mississippi and Alabama. So definitely something that you want to be weather aware about heading through the day Tuesday into Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. They're starting to fire here across North Mississippi, also northern Alabama, as the strongest instability and the strongest ascent or lift comes through. And then as we head into the evening hours, now we're at 8, 7 Central, 9, 10 o'clock. This is now dropping off to the south. So once we get to, say, 9 o'clock Central, everything now south of Tupelo, south of Memphis, south of Nashville, these storms pushing into East Tennessee from Knoxville to Chattanooga, down into Huntsville, Alabama, north of that into the southern Appalachians, through the Tri-Cities, and up into parts of southern West Virginia. However, into West Virginia, southwest Virginia, these will likely be weakening through the evening hours, and all of this up into this region, not severe, right? So we're just looking at rain here, and then everything pushes off to the east as we head into Wednesday, so that severe threat would likely be along the eastern seaboard, and some of that may actually swing up into the mid-Atlantic as we head into the afternoon with these storms. Let's take a wide look, though, at the rest of the week, because I do want to hit that really quick. If you're just joining the channel, you can back it up and take this video from the beginning if you're catching it live here. Again, we're covering the severe weather today, and all those details are at the beginning, but I want to take you long range through the rest of the week. Low pressure moving toward the Great Lakes, a lot of rain. We've talked about all of this severe weather heading into Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening through the Ohio Valley, also the Tennessee Valley, down into the south. As this cold front drops to the south, temperatures will start to cool down behind it. Look at the snow flying here up across the Great Lakes. Definitely cold, or I should say the Dakotas. I don't know what I was thinking about the Great Lakes, but I'll tell you, it's going to turn colder around the Great Lakes. I think that's eventually where I was going with that. But yeah, numbers will be dropping below average as we see some of this cold Canadian air pinwheel around this upper trough that starts to swing through. Surface low pressure moving toward the east coast, and we start to get chilly. I mean, look really closely here. Some snow mixing in right along the Canadian border into the parts of the UP of Michigan. Kind of a gross way to start off the unofficial first weekend of summer, right? Heading into the Memorial Day weekend with dreary, damp, and cold weather. If there's a silver lining, I'll tell you it's this. It's that we're not looking at a lot of severe weather with this type of setup. However, as your front sort of drapes here, cold air in the northeast, we're looking at, quite a bit of rain. So it looks kind of soggy through the Memorial Day weekend here across the central U.S., really, as our Bear Clinic zone just drops to the south. And then overall, cooler weather for sure. As high pressure builds in, heading into Memorial Day. It'll get dry, though, around the Great Lakes, also into the northeast through Memorial Day into Tuesday, and definitely cooler than average. Across the west, we get warm. All right, that's a quick look at your forecast, kind of an update for today. Again, if you're just stopping over, if you're joining the live stream, you can back it up and take it from the beginning. We talk about the risk that I see through the rest of the evening hours, and that, of course, is what we're looking at here across the southern plains. And tomorrow, further to the east, into parts of the Tennessee Valley, even as far north as Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois. All right, I'll see you next time.